Hey witches, it's Faye the Fiend, and today I'm talking about my experience with the Run Devil Run candle. Um, Basically, I got the idea from the Witch of Wonderlust, Olivia. But she has her version of it, which is called like Snakes in the Grass, and then there's like the actual candle. I did her version of it, but you don't have to. I will link her stuff down below if you're interested. So I'm basically going to go over what it is, how I worked it, and the results. And yeah, let's begin. So basically, what the candle is for, it's to run away like your enemies, to get them out. It's a banishing candle essentially, and you can see that like if you get the traditional version of it. You can the prayer on the back is basically saying like I believe it mentions God, so maybe if that's something that offends you, do Olivia's version. But either way, yeah, it's just like asking for all the negativity to be banished from your life, people who do not mean you well. And how I personally worked it. So there's basically again I'm following Olivia's version of it. So she had committed the top of the candle to banishing and then the bottom to irritating, I believe. And it can be switched around. So if you want to see why they should be banished and then have the candle banish them, you can do that. You can write on it. Doesn't have to be like the Run Devil Run candle, which I did have issues finding in Botanicas. Luckily, the internet exists, so I was able to get the traditional candle, but you can get any 7-day candle, and it's just pure energy work. It's just sitting there with the candle and putting all your energy into it. So I wrote banishing at the top, I believe, and then at the bottom half of the candle, I wrote the word. I don't remember what the word was, but it's basically to like open my eyes to see why they were banished. And I worked it for 7 days, and I went into like this meditative trance state kind of. And basically, I don't know if you guys have heard the song "Run Rabbit Run." It's for like children, I believe, or something. It's like a farmer trying to I curse on this channel, so whatever. He's trying to shoot a rabbit, and the narrator of the song is basically telling the rabbit to run. So there was like a creepy version of it on TikTok for a minute, and so that song, even though it's like lighthearted or whatever, it's very creepy to me. So I put that song on like repeat, and then I just kept like picturing like people leaving out of my life. That's personally how I work the candle. You don't have to do that. I don't know how you choose to put energy into something. It could be totally different. Um, yeah, but the results are in. Oh boy. Uh, so the first person to leave was my roommate, and I was pretty much trying to get rid of her for a minute. Um, and it worked, but then she left all her shit behind. So it's so funny because like I like bought the candle. She was kind of against like witchcraft and stuff, which was weird because like she worships Ishtar and she prays. This isn't relevant. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the tea of what happened. Like she worships a Babylonian goddess and she asks the goddess to grant her things, but she thinks if you start doing witchcraft, like that's wrong. A bitch, what? Couldn't be me. I can't relate. But anyway, um, yeah. So I'm pretty sure she saw the candle with the devil on it. And it was black, and it's just standing in the middle of the freaking. It was like the centerpiece on a table, basically. And so I didn't think she would come back, and so she came back, and I'm sure she saw the candle and like freaked out. And because it's literally just like a black candle with a devil on it, so she probably thought I was trying to curse her or something. And yeah, she left immediately and left all her shit behind. And I was like, this is inconvenient because this means you're gonna keep coming back for all your shit. Which she did, but you know, I managed to banish her, so that was great. Um, excuse me. The second friend that I lost to the candle, um, it was really weird. They started like separating themselves, like kind of distancing. I was like, hey, like, what's going on? And they're like, I can't talk about it, my anxiety. And it was that way for like 3 weeks, or I would be like, hey, kind of pretty much every day, like, hey, you want to talk about it? And they wouldn't. And I'm, I know I gave them 3 weeks, but I'm really not a person that's like gonna keep begging you to like work things out. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just like, okay, well, nice knowing you. Well, there was even like the last day where I tried to like message them and say like, hey, do you want to talk about it? They literally ignored me all day. And then when I was like, have a nice life, that's when they were like calling me at 11 at night. And I'm like, so you waited 12 hours to respond to me, even though I know they read my fucking message. It's annoying. You know what I mean? Like, why do you wait until I'm done to try to fix things? That's pretty obnoxious. But yeah, so they left. And then afterwards, I started like recalling all these things, and I was like, oh, that's probably why they left. And again, it's the witchy thing. Like, I have learned, thank you, Saturn Return, to shut the fuck up about being a witch, which is ironic because that's when I'm like committing myself to my YouTube channel. But I think that's healthy. I'm getting it all out here instead of in my personal life because it turns out people aren't that accepting of witches. So I've learned my lesson. I will be quiet and hopefully no one finds this channel. But yeah, I feel like it was kind of obvious that like they weren't into the witchy thing and it was kind of weirding them out. And there was other things too, but I don't really think I need to get into that. And then the third person, sus. Okay. Basically, hold on. Let me get my notes. If you can see me, like I keep going down. I don't plan to like edit this, so I'm sorry if my eyes keep wandering. Um, it's so weird, and like even when this candle isn't activated, I feel like whenever I tell someone something I can't stand, they start doing it, and I'm like, is it unconscious? Is it like my spirit's making this person say it so I know they're a fucking asshole? But basically, I told this ex-friend of mine now that I hate when men say the word bitch. Like, it gives me the ick. And I hate saying the ick, but it does. Like, it's just weird when they do it. I don't know. And so, of course, after I said that, like within the time frame that we were hanging out that day, he says the word bitch about a woman, and I'm like, okay, well, red flag. Um, and then we would like game together, and he would rage quit, and I'm like, that's not cool either. So yeah, he had like anger issues, and then randomly he dropped a confession saying that he had feelings for me. I basically told him that I had a Palentine's date, and he was really mad. He was like, I know you're seeing a guy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, first off, no, I'm not. Shut the fuck up. Second off, even if I was, like, why does that matter to you? We're not together. So it was just weird. Like, why are you getting angry about it? And I don't know. And then he used the word friend zone, which like pisses me off. He was like, well, I don't do that whole friend zone bullshit. So if you're not gonna date me, we're just not gonna be a thing. And I was like, okay, bye. And then that's when he started backtracking, like, well, we can still be friends. And I'm like, this is like the biggest red fucking flag I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. And then I basically, I wasn't like laughing about it like I am now. I was being pretty serious, and I was like, hey, like, it makes me uncomfortable when you get angry. And he, like, I'm trying to open up and like trying to communicate, and he basically like laughed at me. And I'm just like, I love that when I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you about how you make me uncomfortable, you're like, ha 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 ha. That's another red flag. Um, but yeah, I don't understand like what the thought process is there. So that person's out of my life. And then the last person wasn't actually a person. Before I get to that, though, I do want to point out, like, you see how I had listed that I would banish them first and then see all of their red flags. I feel like this is a situation where it worked in the reverse, but it still worked. And I believe Olivia mentions that like it doesn't really matter what order you put it in because the universe is just going to sort itself out the way it needs to. But that's kind of how it worked out for that one. Like the other one, they left, and then I started putting the pieces together. And then with this person, um, I started seeing a bunch like giant red flags, and I was like, okay, we're done here. We're done. And so for the third person, which it wasn't actually a person, it was a spirit. It was a deity. I'll call them a deity. We don't really need to get into the labels of the spirits, but it was an entity that I worshipped, and my beloved, but alas, he yeah, I kind of like fucked up. Yeah, and I'm still putting the pieces together, right? Like they leave and then you see what's going on. So I'm still trying to like learn the lessons that I had because I had been working with them for a while. Um, but even I don't know if I would want to share it just because it's so personal. But I did want to bring it up because it's like when I worked this candle, I assumed it was gonna be just people, and I don't. Now I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is part of the candle working. So just be aware that it's not always a person. Sometimes it's a relationship. Which makes me wonder, like, I wonder if it would work with like a pet, right? Like if some people have toxic relationships with their pets, they're like, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, I don't have a job because I have to be with my dog because my dog is so anxious. Like, I don't know if it gets to the point where it's like negatively affecting your life. I'm not saying the candle is going to take away your pets. I'm just saying, like, I think it's just meant to cut off ties with any relationship that isn't serving you anymore. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. You guys should really check out Olivia's video if you haven't already, which you probably have because she's the shit and pretty popular. But yeah, I don't know. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Um, yeah, you will probably have a tower moment, so be ready for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just subscribe if you're interested in witchy content. That's what I post pretty much. Um, if you have any questions, again, let me know. That's pretty much it. Bye.